Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Champs spoiler review for the Star Wars The Last Jedi. So, I am the host Walker Cheatham, and with me I have...
EJ Flemming.
Guys, if you just watched our Movie Champs spoiler-free review from the that we just did on the Movie Champs show, episode number 14, you saw us struggling to get to where we are now, which is a completely spoiler episode. We are going to be able to let loose all of those feelings of
We want to let go.
yes, things we wanted to say that we couldn't say. Just because this is one of those movies where it's really, really hard not to spoil anything, because most of the people that are real Star Wars fans probably should have been seeing this opening weekend. But
now this is where you drop those comments at.
yes, there was a jerk that left a spoiler comment in a non-spoiler review video.
He pretty much laid out the entire plot of the movie in like 100 or so characters.
Yes, so
it was impressive but douchey.
Yes, so they were hit with the black, which you guys can feel free to leave those comments here, but be respectful in our other videos.
Other videos. Anytime we do a spoiler review for anything, when it comes to spoilers, put them all here because this is where we talk about them.
Right.
So if you got something you want to spoil it in the spoiler review. Only to the movie we're talking about.
Yes, only to the movie we're talking about. Don't spoil anything else. I don't want to know the ending of The Shape of Water right now.
No. Don't put anything that happens in other movies in a spoiler review to this movie.
Right. Yeah.
It's a spoiler zone for Last Jedi spoilers only.
Okay. So we guys hope you're smart enough to know that. So let's go ahead and get into this spoiler review. So we talked about in this last or in our spoiler-free review a few. Well, we're going to start from the beginning. We can start from the beginning here.
We can hit a lot of
the major notes. Yes, but we'll do it in order.
Let's go in a slight order here. Like the intro when it picked up right when Force Awakens ends with Rey and Luke, and the way Luke just tossed that lightsaber like, I don't want this.
Right.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I laughed a lot at that too. But there were some people that were, I know, that were upset with how that was handled. They said he could have easily just said no and dropped it, or just said something else. But I myself liked the way that was done.
That's how Luke Skywalker handled it. He was like, oh, this.
Yeah.
And then it left Rey like, you know what I went through to get that?
Yeah, she was pretty stunned.
Like, oh, okay, you're not who I thought you were.
Right.
I went and did this all great journey, and it was also a pretty funny payoff to The Force Awakens because that was such a dramatic moment at the end of that movie for them to just undercut it with just something very funny right then and there.
Right.
Like, he looked at that, he like, and he was just like, that's it.
Right. And
I thought that was very hilarious.
And I liked the with whenever we get to the scene between the Resistance and what's the dang it, what is it called?
First Order.
Yeah, the First Order, with Poe talking, pretty much just stalling for the bombers and everybody to come in.
Can I speak to Hux, please?
Yes.
And then Hux is like, we will destroy them all.
Yes.
Is Hux there? Is he there? I can't. I'm waiting for Hux.
Right.
And Hux is like getting extra irritated.
Yes.
And then like one of his subordinates has to tell him, I think he's tooling you up, sir.
Right.
Like he's like, no, he's just messing with him. And like at one point, I think one of the dudes like laughed and realized where he was.
Right.
And Hux was a very funny character to me. Because, like, right when, after all of that happened and they blew up the Dreadnought and all this and all like that, and Snoke came on, like, The next Snoke said, "Call." This next Snoke is calling. He said, "Yes, I'll take this in my quarters." The Snoke dressed him right
Just
in the
pops
middle of
in middle of the room.
the slammed him to the floor twice. I'm like,
Yes.
Huck's lip is all bleeding. He like, ooh. Hux was a very good funny character. Everything he did was pretty funny.
But I didn't. I don't know if it was because that scene was so funny. If it took away from what happened shortly after that with what's whatever Rose's sister's name was that uh, she
uh,
sacrificed herself as
I
for
don't think it undercut that at all.
because I didn't
I
really
think
feel anything there.
I
I
felt
don't know if I
something.
was supposed to.
I didn't feel anything at first until they cut to Rose's character, and then I was like,
Yes,
oh, that was her sister.
right.
And then it was like that
That
connection
was
made me
more,
go,
yeah. That made me feel a little bit more than what had happened during the scene. And plus,
like
I
when it
also didn't
happened.
feel like she was going to be able to catch that trigger either, though. But uh, that was different. That was just the way it was edited, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it is what it was. What it was, but it was a good. Finn's still a pretty good character. I like
oh
the
yes,
character of Finn.
yeah, I liked the way Finn was brought or was reintroduced in this movie
Oh
through
yeah,
BB-8, or is that what his name?
yeah.
Right,
Like
BB-8.
said, Finn naked leaking bag. What? What?
Yeah.
Whoa, wow.
And like the very first thing he says is, "Where's Ray?" Which was
Where's Ray?
yeah, that was
Yeah,
and now
but
there
the
was cuts
ending.
to that scene, which was really cool. That's how
Yeah,
Ray's brought back, or where we get to Ray and Luke, which is really neat.
yeah. And Ray's whole time on the island was pretty cool, cause then it started to show how Ray and Kylo are connected.
Right, that was
And it was
really cool.
that was really cool how you can see how strong their force connection is to each other. Which makes me wonder: is it a situation where like they say, like Kylo said, your parents were just nothing but transformers
Right,
or something like that? I don't think that's the case.
because I mean, if you notice the connection between Luke and Leia, it's similar to the connection between Ray and
And
Kylo.
Kylo, yeah, like even though Luke and Leia would span the galaxies through distance between each other, they could just tap into each other like that.
And also, Ray was able to know when Luke died at the end.
Yeah,
So she
if he's
might be a
dead.
Skywalker
Yeah, if he's dead,
if he's dead.
and because that was a pretty just random way for Luke to die if that was the case.
Because I didn't really know he died until she said that she felt that he was
He,
gone.
just, he said Luke was gone,
Right.
but they never said dead. They said gone. He said there was people, but it wasn't of sadness. It was peace and things. But
I know. Yeah,
Kylo,
that was cool how they
yeah, yeah.
handled that
The
part.
way, and then like I was saying in the spoiler-free review, Kylo's motivation is like very well thought out.
Yes.
He doesn't. He's not doing it for the First Order. He's not doing it for the Resistance. He's doing it to be free from it all.
Yes. So that's what I exactly what I wanted to talk about in this review was his motivation. You don't he clearly wasn't completely on the dark side, but he
No,
also is not completely on the light side
no,
because he
no.
has his own personal demons that he needs to tackle, I guess. So he's not I don't know.
But
Oh
I
no no,
think
you go ahead.
I think what's going on with Kylo Ren is this: the moment he was born, I think he was pretty much told what to do.
Right.
So he grew up. His mom put him in Jedi training and all this and all like that. Han was kind of hands off about everything. And then he grew up, and then he went through Jedi training, and then when he saw what Luke was going to do to him, it was like, do I have any say that anything that happens to me? Do I get to fight and choose, or does everything just happen to me and I have to regret, or I have to move on? And that's what I think's going on with that. I'm thinking that's what's going on. He's never had an opportunity to choose anything because everything has been chosen for him. And I think that chosen child mentality is like it's backfiring now. He wants to make a choice of his own. If if he has to destroy both sides of the conflict, he's willing to do that just to be free from it all.
Hang on.
What's going
Oh,
on?
oh, sorry. We got a comment, but I guess it wasn't on this video.
Mm. On the other one?
It must be. It was. Sorry, it was from Night Hippie though.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get this thing open now. I done clicked something I shouldn't have. But either way.
She
um.
probably said hi or late watch or something.
Yeah. Anyways, let me go back to our conversation here. Um.
I'm going to have the chat open for this one.
Cool. Thank you. You can monitor it better than I can right now.
Yeah. You have a full plate right now, my friend.
But back to what we were talking about. I agree with what you said about where his motivation and where his feelings are. But I also felt like when he was saying those things to Ray about her parents, that was probably a. I don't want to say that he had so much of a control over her that he was able to plant that in her head, because she seems to be very strong with the Force, but she's more confused with the Force, I think, which is why was looking for guidance. So I don't know if he planted that thought about her parents in her head, or if that's the truth. But if it's the truth, then it kind of deflated the entire mystery of her
Yeah.
who her parents are.
I think when that one scene when she went in the cave and she asked who her parents were, I think we were supposed to have picked up something from the shadows.
Really?
I think the shadows were shapes of somebody, but we can't place them at the moment.
Right.
But yeah.
But
I'm thinking what these new Star Wars, the whole through to these Star Wars stories, is choice versus destiny.
yes.
Kylo represents destiny. Rey is choice.
I was thinking vice versa, but that's good.
The reason why I say Rey is choice because Rey didn't have to pick up BB-8. Rey didn't have to listen to what BB-8 said. Rey didn't have to do anything she did. She chose to do it all, and then wound up finding out what she is.
Right.
Ben's kind of been pushed into this his whole life. And then even now, even between Snoke and Luke, it was like still being pushed into do this for me. No, be this. What about what Ben wants? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I say Rey represents choice and Ben represents destiny. Her choice, her destiny was the fact that she made her own choices. Ben has had no say in anything he's done, even to the point where he almost gets killed by Luke. That was not even his decision to make neither, and he reacted like anybody else would. What would you do if the dude teaching you stands over you with the weapon he's training you to use to kill you?
Right.
Even if they showed you a different context, it still looks bad no matter what. And it explains it. And when you see it the way, when you see his story, and then the truth, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like I would react the same way Kylo did. Maybe not killing everyone else,
Right.
but yeah, I react like Kylo did. But then he did say something. Luke did say something interesting.
What's that?
Kylo took a couple of my students and left.
Yeah, he took a couple of them and left, and then slaughtered the rest.
Who did he take?
Yeah. I mean, that would mean that there's other Jedi, right? If he's training other Jedi.
He's training other Jedi, so there are at least other Force-sensitive people out here.
Right.
Where are they?
Well, if the timeline lined up, I would say maybe I wonder if one of them are Rey's parents, but that wouldn't work.
No, because they would all be kids.
Right.
They would all be about Ben's age, so that wouldn't work. And I think the common thought that Rey's parents is one of Rey's dad at least is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the theories going around.
Because they say like when she first finds the lightsaber and has her force awakened off for the first time, they say you not only hear Alex McGinnis, but you hear Ewan McGregor as well. And they were the only two actors to play Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
So why would she, out of all the Star Wars characters to hear, why Obi-Wan?
Right. That's a good question.
I'm shooting my own argument from the spoiler.
Right.
There's nothing to talk about. There's no questions that's the answer. And I came up with three.
Right.
But yeah, but there's one more thing. There's a couple of more things I'm going to talk about. One thing being, like I said before, how some of the comedy elements felt kind of forced. Like that one scene with the quote unquote big-breasted opera singer alien reacting to the destruction.
Right.
That shot had no reason to be in this movie.
I think one of my favorite shots that was not so much needed, probably didn't need to be in the movie. Well, it did. I liked whenever Rey was following Luke around after he was refusing to teach her, and he's milking that creature and fishing and stuff, and then I liked how it led up to that part where she says, "I know how your day to day goes. You're not that busy."
yeah.
Your daily routine goes. You're not that busy.
Talk about how the creature looked at Rey while it was being milked. Like, yep, he does this every day.
Yeah, and then I liked the look he gave Rey as he was drinking.
Yeah, like, yep, he drinks my stuff every day. I don't have the heart to tell him that it's not exactly milk. He drinks it.
No. Oh man.
Yeah, but Last Jedi was a fun time at the movies. I've shot my own argument in the foot that there's nothing to talk about. I feel like I've lied to the people in the other review now. I'm sticking by my 8.5 though, but that's I'm not changing my scores.
But the one thing that still I was more uncomfortable with than anything in this movie was any time Luke was talking about Leia. It never felt like he was talking about his sister while he was talking about it. It still felt like the love of his life that he was. And it just made me feel uncomfortable more than anything. It didn't seem like he ever accepted the fact that that's his sister.
Hey.
And then it seemed like whenever they were reunited, they were.
Maybe to Space Alabama. I don't know. Well, I can't make that joke anymore. I can't make that joke. Alabama. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Y'all are not as bad as people make you out to be. Okay, joke rejected. But yeah, that was good movie, good storyline. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Now that I've talked up storyline points that need to be addressed.
But
I can't think of much else to talk about. We talked about Hux. We talked about Poe. At one point in the movie, they showed that Leia knows how to use the Force.
Yes, that was. Oh man, gosh, that was probably one of the coolest sequences in the entire movie too.
I will admit that sequence was kind of cool because it was kind of unexpected. Because you always had that thought in your mind. Well, if they're twins, and Luke is so Force connected, wouldn't she have some of that too?
Right.
Even to a little degree. And then this movie shows you that she does.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, okay. And I want to give a shout out to Hodo when she light jumped through the dreadnought like she did.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. That was
an awesome shot because it was like you never think that because when you see them go light speed, you always see them just disappear.
Right.
But you always never think that. Oh yeah, that ship still has mass when it does that. She just basically made the ship a torpedo and just carved right through it. And that was a cool shot how it was quiet.
She pulled the exact opposite of what Benicio del Toro did, where
Yes.
I was totally into buying Laura Dern at the beginning, and then a little bit in the middle of her story, I was like, dang, I can't stand her. Get rid of her, please, please, please. And then I was like, oh my god, I love her. And
Yeah.
then
And it was like she was playing the hard edge because she knew she was playing the hard edge because she knew she was about to make a difficult decision.
yes.
And didn't want no one else to know that the decision she was about to make, so she was going to make it on her own.
Yeah, because she knew anybody would have stopped her from doing
Yeah,
that.
anybody would stop her from making that decision. So she plays it like she's like.
If I have to be the bad guy, so be it.
Yeah, if I have to be the douche to get this done, I will be that douche
Yes.
to get this done.
Which is amazing. That was really cool.
That was really cool.
And then,
really cool.
where Benicio del Toro, I loved him in the beginning, loved him in the middle, and hated him at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he was just as bad. He warned them, though. He let them know at the beginning that he's not on any sides.
Yeah, he warned them. Yeah.
But then he kind of sort of redeemed himself by giving her back her
necklace.
necklace.
He only needed it because it was the tool to get the thing open.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, he just won everybody over, and then boom, sold him out.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I can't stand that.
Yeah, but that's what makes this character so complex. Is that there isn't. You do forget that even though there is light and dark in this world, there are middle people still.
Right. He kind of pulled like a Han Solo on him.
Yeah, he looked out for himself. He got them to a point, and then looked out for himself in the end.
He might be the next Han Solo.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think still my absolute most favorite scene is the fight scene between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren at the end.
Yeah, that was a really cool. It was a very cool scene because you didn't expect the ending to come the way it did.
Right. And then when Luke brushes off his shoulder, everybody I don't know if your theater cheered, but my theater did.
My theater, we all chuckled with it.
Yeah. Oh,
so
man.
we laughed at the part when Hux turned to him after he blew him, after all the fire and the lasers at him, and said, "Did you get him?" or something like that. Are you sure that you got him?
Yeah.
Here, one more Hux scene before we end it off, because
Right.
I don't want to, even though this is a spoiler review, I kind of don't want to talk about it too much because I'm starting to shoot my own argument in the foot.
Uh-oh.
But Hux, like you said he was about to react to something Kylo Ren did.
Mm-hmm.
When Hux walked in on the room and saw Snoke dead and Kylo passed out on the floor, and then he opened his coat to get his blaster, and then Kylo walked out and he closed the coat. Like, I wasn't doing anything. and then when he was on the salt planet,
right.
when Kylo would say something, he would like repeat it with gusto.
Yes.
And then Kylo looked at him like, "What are you doing?"
Like that one time, whenever Kylo yelled or he did something to him, and then the guy, the operator guy in front just started. It's like, okay, doing it. I don't remember what the joke was, but it was funny.
I said, it was something about Hux.
Was it when he said fire all the guns at him?
No. It was about opening. It was right before he was about to fight Luke.
Right.
On the ground. It was something about open the door.
Yeah.
And have it stand guard. And Hux said something about it, and then he like just tossed Hux away, and then he said, "Understood."
Yep, doing it. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that was probably one of my favorite fight scenes in recent memory.
And one more thing, I did like the touch that Snoke made him take the helmet off because he saw it because he wore it as a Vader imitation, even though he was not Vader.
Right.
And I thought that was cool that was a choice by Kylo and not Snoke.
Right.
He wants to so much to be like his uncle that he made a mask.
But I thought it was cool that Snoke, as much as they've been building up Snoke, that they cut him down so soon.
Yeah, Snoke was just a dude.
Yeah.
That's what like Snoke was not no all powerful this dude. He was just a dude who wanted to manipulate the mind of Kylo
And I liked
because he saw great things in
how
him.
he thought that he had so much control over Kylo, when that never he didn't have enough control over him to see what he was actually doing or
Yeah,
thinking about him, which I thought
yeah.
was
I thought that
really neat.
whole because that whole scene, the way he killed Snoke was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Because he had the blade open, ready to look like he's striking Ren, but then he put his arm behind him, like, wait, what's he doing? You see those lightsabers spin. I'm like, oh no, oh he's gonna do
Yes.
it. And then they fighting side by side. I'm like, yeah. And then Kylo said what he said. He like, oh, oh.
Yeah.
He's not doing this for good reasons. He's doing this for personal reasons.
Yes.
And that's what made this character so unique to me.
Yeah. Well, I think we covered every major plot detail that we needed to.
Yes, we covered. Yeah, and the porgs weren't as annoying as you thought they were.
No, yeah, they weren't. They weren't. They also weren't as likable as I thought they would. I bought them for a little bit, but if I had seen more of them, it would have become more of a Minions thing, and that would have been a
Yeah.
problem. So, I think we saw just enough of them for them to be
Yeah, when
likable.
that one pork looked at Chewie though as he was about to eat a pork, though,
That was pretty funny.
that was pretty funny. He was like,
Oh my gosh! Oh, that thing you've reminded me of Chewie. The reunion with Chewie and Luke was awesome.
yeah,
When he kicked in that door, and then the first thing he said, "Well, where's Han? If you're here," and that was whenever he realized what happened to Han. Uh,
yeah. It went right from yeah to oh that's right.
yeah, and then they made up for Leia not hugging Chewie in the beginning, from the last movie. They made up for that. They made it kind of obvious in this movie that they're making up for
Yeah,
that, which was pretty. It was good that they. Which I'm still really interested in seeing what they're going to do with Leia in the third movie, or I guess the
yeah,
ninth movie. I'm
yeah.
really because I thought there was going to be. I thought they were going to do something in this movie that will make us know clearly what their plan is with her in this last one, because they said they have no scenes shot for her for this last movie. So I'm really interested in seeing what the plan is going to be.
They're probably just gonna blow up a ship with her on it or something.
That would suck.
It
Then
would
they
suck.
should have had a more. They should have ended her in this movie then in a more fitting way, I guess, rather than
But I guess the way the movie was shot, it was no way they could have done it.
yeah. Yeah.
I guess all our scenes were already done. There was like nothing they could really do.
Well, anyways, guys, we if you didn't already hear, you gave the movie an 8.5 out of 5, or out of 9. I gave, or out of 10, 8.5 out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
10. You gave an 8.5 out of
Yeah,
10. I gave it.
that quick maths.
Yeah, I did an 8.5 out of 10. It is almost 2:30 here.
It's 2:30 in the morning here in Virginia right now,
Yeah,
and I haven't had dinner yet.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, this is gonna be kind of
yeah,
we may talk about more in discussion of another one later, like what this means to the franchise as a whole or something.
yeah.
But for right now, that's all our thoughts on the spoilers for this movie. So
So if you haven't check out some of our other videos, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. If you're seeing this show for the first time, we don't usually do this over Skype. We usually are on a
in the
set
same room,
in the same room.
yeah, same
Table
room.
discussion. It's just a really busy time for both of us. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
my name is Walker Cheatham. You can find me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook at Walker Cheatham. Also, you can follow the Movie Champs at Movie Champ Show. That's pretty much all their handles for them. The links are in the description for other things. So anyway, what's your where can they find you, EJ?
They can find me Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Either at Geek Champs EJ or at Movie Champs EJ. I'm trying to switch everything over to one or the other. I'm just trying to get everything done and taken care of. But it's kind of hard to do at this time of year, so bear with me. And then sometime in the new year, all my social activity is going to be through the roof.
Yes.
Oh, okay, my mic just did something weird when I snapped my fingers, and now I don't hear anything.
Uh-oh.
Okay, it's back.
Okay.
I'm
I was
back.
gonna say we can still hear you, so that's good.
Okay, that's good.
Anyways, guys, we thank you for watching this episode, and we hope that you like and subscribe and
Oh
comment.
yeah,
What's
Zachary Cheatham's all the same social media outlets
at Horror Champs and
at
at Zachary
Hard
Cheatham.
and at Zachary Cheatham. Find him on all of those. I meant to say that in episode 14. Zach, don't kill me. I know you know how. You're not a horror champ.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I already know you already see enough slasher movies to know how to take me out. So no, I wanted to make sure I made up for that.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we hope that you will come back and watch our show again. It looks like we're going to do our next show on Friday, and it will be live, which is
With both of us in the room together.
yes, which is awesome. So, anyways, guys, we will see you next time, and we hope you guys have a great day.